Oh, that came on.
There we go.
Not Yeti is the first thing that came on.
All right, let's start over, folks. Welcome to the stream. I am your host, Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Rhianna. We've been talking for 4 minutes. It has been a rusty few minutes because it's been 2.5 months since we've done any of this. The last show that we did was our making maps on Incarnate for Dummies, where we had Rhianna kind of playing around with Incarnate just to show her what was going on. We had a lot of stuff going on since then that we'll try and kind of sum up for you real quick before we go into what we've got planned for the next year. So let's start off with October. We had our anniversary, so we tried to have a little fun with each other, and then and then right after that, during that we had the Kickstarter, and in early November I took on a new role. Actually, leading up into November, I knew that I was going to be taking on a new role, and it's much busier than I thought it was going to be. I think I was telling you, like, just this past week, I finally feel like I've gotten to a point where, like, I'm going to be able to catch up.
Right. There was a big learning curve. It was all, like, new stuff to you, but, I mean, I think in this role, I think you're going to thrive. Especially because you're a great people person, and a lot of it has to do with just interacting with people.
Right. It's both kind of, like, internal and external facing. I'm kind of like the office manager, and I'm also kind of like the person who makes people's bad days worse.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
But sometimes I can make their day better if they're deserving of it. In any case, that kept me very, very busy from November on.
Right.
And like I said, I only just got to a point where I was feeling a little bit better.
Yeah. And in November, you welcomed a new D'Angelo. Not ours.
No, not ours. So brother Matt, he and Jill, his wife, they had a child. Droidman is their name. Cute little kid. Makes it hard to play video games.
It's okay. It's only a matter of time before he's
playing video games too.
Exactly.
We played maybe 30 seconds of Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 today. Getting onto the game took more time than actually playing it. But I've been playing a lot of, like, Dave the Diver and Yakuza Infinite Wealth and everything. So we've had plenty of reasons to be distracted. And I've done a metric crap ton of editing for fantasy and sci-fi and horror writers over the past couple of months as well. And just everything all together has kind of cobbled, into this business barrier that's made it hard to get back into streaming. But I think now that the main point of the day job being so busy that I'm tired after work has been kind of shaved down, we should be in a better spot and be able to do the streaming again. So I think that we're going to try and do the Monday through Wednesday.
I'm still tired after work, but I know that I gotta get back into the wand making because festival season is coming up.
Yep, and we will talk about that, but there's still a couple of other things that we need to wrap up. We ran the successful Kickstarter. We made a little bit less money than we did last time, but we delivered many more maps, and we've still got a couple more that we have to wrap up. There's a problem with fulfillment with our print-on-demand partner, so the physical maps are taking a little bit longer to get out than I would like, and that's because Thailand is the supplier, and for whatever reason, the Christmas rush really puts them on their butts, so we're waiting for them to get in stock again. Rhianna had a very big distraction at the end of last year. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure. So on the day of a funeral, I woke up with horrible stomach/back pain. Just very weird placement. I thought it was a kidney stone because I've had those before and it was relatively similar pain. Thought I could tough it through the funeral and through the rest of the workday. That definitely did not happen. We ended up in the emergency room. Turns out I had to get my gallbladder removed. It was a 15 millimeter gallstone that was blocking the duct, and had I not had it removed, it could have
Killed you.
Killed me. So yeah, it was 2 nights in the hospital.
Yeah, and I will say the 15 millimeters is important because in general, the average size of a gallstone is between 5 and 10 millimeters.
Yeah.
So yours was pretty much twice the average size.
And it was blocking like their view of a bunch of other smaller ones. So apparently this has been an ongoing thing.
Now we know that Rhianna likes to collect stones. We just didn't think that she meant internally.
I'm a crystal girly, and apparently my body agrees. Yeah, so that was interesting. So I got my gallbladder surgery that Saturday. It was Friday that I went in. Got discharged Sunday night. Apparently I stopped breathing during the operation, so that was fun to figure out.
Yeah, she is evidently allergic to medicinal fentanyl. They hit her with a, hey, you stopped breathing, you're allergic to fentanyl, and she's like, why'd you guys give me fentanyl?
Like, yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I shouldn't be doing drugs in the hospital, sirs and madam. Like, no, there's a medicinal component to it. It didn't just come out of the blue as that kind of drug.
Yeah. But for Christmas, I was like, I toughed it out, but I ended up having to, like, even to travel to family, I had to, like, put pillows around my stomach, and it was rough.
First couple of days were really rough, but I will say, Rhianna, we've got a picture up here of two people who are going to get gallbladder surgery. She got the luckier of the two by far. The laparoscopic surgery is where they go in with like cameras and
little robot hands or whatever.
And she was only in for about 3 days. It would have been tremendously worse if it would have been the open cholecystectomy, because it would have been. I
would have been out of work for a long time too. Like you need a long time to recover from that.
You would have been in the hospital through Christmas and New Year's.
I would have cried.
Yeah,
every single day.
Because I already ruined last Christmas for you, the previous Christmas, because I was sick for that Christmas.
That was a special circumstance though. My grandparents' house had burned down. Like there was a lot of like, other factors. But yeah, we were. I'm fortunate to be here, and since I had that surgery, I was initially very sad about it, because I thought, like, you don't know what to expect. Like, gallbladder removal can change your life in a detrimental way, or it can make it better, and so far I think it's been better. I've been making better eating choices overall, and
even when you've gone back to some...
Yeah, I've been okay.
We had a big meaty meal on
Nebraska
on Saturday. We my girls at work, who I now am managing, they gave me a gift card to Nebraska for Christmas, and we made use of it. We didn't even make it a whole month. But we knew that Rhianna had the gallbladder surgery. We were still like, let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference was I was a little bit more responsible about the like the fat on the meat, because I know like fat is a thing that you have trouble processing. But I mean, I was sad about it, but I still had all the good parts of the meat, and I was happy.
Yep. And you made it home without having to make any side stops or anything.
Stop anywhere. It was overall okay. Yeah, so very happy to be here again, making healthier life decisions and stuff now. So
yeah, I'm not, but
you'll vicariously.
There we go.
Yeah, you're gonna get better, because I'm gonna make you vegetables.
I like vegetables.
I know, you gotta eat more of them, because I'm gonna make you.
Okay, yeah, just there's certain vegetables I won't join you in, like a Brussels sprout.
They're so good though.
They stink so bad.
Them tasty. They do stink, but they taste good.
All right, so that was pretty much the end of all the stuff that we've kind of experienced so far, right? There hasn't been anything like too crazy within the last couple of weeks that like really is worth mentioning, right? We're going to talk about the things that we're expecting over the next couple of months, actually most of the year, to be perfectly honest, because we're going to be going through August. But I'll tell you what, let's I just saw a viewer come through, so we're not going to take the break just yet. So what we're going to do is we will talk about maybe the first half of the year, and then we'll cut over to our sponsors. So The first thing that we're going to be doing is in April this year. That is the Lehigh Valley Comic Convention. So last year, Rhianna and I did this. It was just the two of us. It's the first time that we did anything just the two of us,
I
I think.
so. Yeah.
Because Matt has always been there with us. So we did, they had an event in, I want to say, early August of last year.
Sounds about right.
And if it wasn't August, it was late July. And we ended up, Lehigh is somewhere that I go to once a month anyway. So, like, I was familiar with the area. It wasn't too long of a drive for me or anything. And we took a U-Haul truck up there, and they had their location at, well, I don't have the picture here, but I should have. No, I got nothing. They have they have their stuff at the, what is it? We got Saturday, and then there's two other events that they had down here, I think. The Lehigh Carbon Community College. A tantrum.
Luna.
It's been a long time since a tantrum. I'm
Come
so
here,
happy.
Baby.
You actually go into the halls of the Lehigh Carbon Community College. We had 3 tables that we were able to set up. We had to bring our own, and we were just beat by the time we got up there, got set up. We had, if you'll remember, we had drama getting there.
We had drama getting
there? Yeah, because you remember they didn't have our truck ready.
Yeah, that was no good. It was a big rush to get out because we had to be there on time, and it was like an hour delay.
So I think what we're going to do going forward, and we'll talk about the event itself a little bit more, but at least to try and help other people who might be going down this route, the plan is going to be to try and get the U-Haul vehicle the day before from now on, because it only costs $20 to have the truck per day. And then you're paying mileage. Like, I don't mind paying an extra $20 to get everything loaded up the night before.
Right.
And then just relax, get there on time, maybe much time to spare.
Yeah, especially for a one-day event. Like, it's not like we're putting out a lot for the transportation, and we get to do everything in one vehicle versus trying to fit everything into 2.
Right. So we were in the back of this building, which I don't know that a lot of people even knew.
Yeah, there wasn't too much foot traffic on this one, but the interactions we had were good because the people were, I think, a little bit more comfortable hanging out.
I wonder if there was any good pictures of inside. It feels like it's all like just the announcement pictures and stuff like that. Yeah. But that's okay. Oh, here we go. This might be the Ag Hall, though. I feel like that's the Ag Hall.
Yeah, but it was similar.
Well, and that's where we're going to be this year. Because we signed up day of when we were there in August of last year.
To get a discount.
Yeah, we got the cash discount, and we are going to be in the agricultural hall now for their big event. They do like one big event every year, and they do like 2 or 3 smaller ones. So we're going to be in like the main area. They're going to, provide the tables and everything. So Rhianna's got just over 3 months to get some stuff together.
New ones together. I haven't been like I mentioned before.
It's been busy.
The job has been ridiculously busy, especially like at the end of the day. I'm just exhausted. There's no downtime with this job. I'm a HR manager for like 650 employees, and it's too much at the end of the day. But I need to buckle down and get some wands made. And I want to get back to it. I'm excited.
But you know what? I will say, wands are only a miniature. It's only a small piece of what you do because you've been experimenting with other things too.
That's true. I went back to an old hobby that I picked up. I tried it. I liked it. I forgot about it for like a really long time. But needle felting is a fun thing. It's just sculpting with wool essentially and a little barbed needle that I stab myself with constantly and go ow every time I'm making stuff.
Eventually, you start to like the stabs.
you build calluses.
She did. Long-time viewers will know that we've done the Legomorphs, and Rhianna did like the Prime Legomorph. So that's pretty cool. And she's working on a Squirtle, which is from her upcoming story, Whispers of the Weird Wind. Weird Wind. The squirrel is coming together already pretty cute too. So
the idea is it's a squirrel that has wings, so not like a flying squirrel. It's like a squirrel that actually has like dove wings on it, and They're kind of like, think of them more as parrots than squirrels because they can kind of talk to you. Like, yeah, that. He's voicing it in the audiobook.
They're very likely not going to be for sale, but we may be able to figure out a way to kind of use those as our prototypes for getting them made in bulk.
Right. And fiscally, it doesn't make sense unless somebody's willing to spend like $500 because the amount of time that goes into the stabbies of a large wool sculpture is like ridiculous.
It's not like crocheting. All praise to the chicken lady.
Oh my god, yeah, she can mass produce a large number of her chickens.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about her a little bit more when we get to the Renaissance Fair's talks. But I'll tell you what, I noticed that our viewer has abandoned us. So let's real quick, we're going to go to our sponsors so that we can give back to the people who give to us. 1 second. And now, a word from our sponsors. Brought to life by Science Magic is a great way to describe author R.J. Gould's prose debut, Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos. Reminiscent of classic toys-to-life stories like The Indian in the Cupboard and Small Soldiers, this sci-fi adventure is great for teens and preteens, as well as those who still hold a place for childlike whimsy in their heart. It's also lightly academic, with information about the world and what may lie beyond our stars. Gould is hard at work on not just 2 follow-up novels, but a graphic novel and a movie script that will hopefully bring this brand to life even bigger than ever. If you've been looking for a sci-fi that will bring some joy to your reading nook, don't wait. Check out our promo for Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos origin story on the Tellest website. A spectacular whirlwind adventure that mystifies as much as it enthralls readers, Raymond Duane's Quinine is the sort of epic fantasy that most people would have a hard time dreaming of. Yet, the author has done much with this universe, establishing foundational pieces of rich lore, religious history and prophecy, and wrapping it all together in a package that makes it feel like some of the best pulp fantasy of yesteryear. Indeed, there is a way that Quinine is presented that makes it feel as though this hero has been around for decades. Despite the classic feel, though, it is also wild in its imagination, with blended species bringing a sense of alien majesty to the world, which just so happens to be the massive hand of the goddess. If you'd like to learn more, head over to the Tellest website, where you'll be able to find our promotion for Quinine by Raymond Duane. So rusty.
We talked about so much.
Yarr.
This one might be a wash.
No, it's not a wash. I'm gonna put fun text over half of this video. We're gonna play.
That. I was like, why isn't it? Is it making noise now? Like, are we talking now? Yeah, it's talking now. Now we're doing it.
I'm sure it's talking now, but you're absolutely right. I need to have something that's always on the screen to show that. It is a lovely time to be back.
We were talking for like 10 minutes with just nothing. You sure this one is?
It's not a wash. It's not a wash. It's very funny. And this is going to be the kind of stuff that people absolutely love.
We're going to commit, I guess.
We're going to commit. We're going to be committed.
Yeah, probably.
So we talked about how we want to do the Columbus Renaissance. Oh, man, it might be a wash.
I think it's a wash, honey. I think we should probably just go get some chocolate milk and redo this tomorrow.
We can't redo it tomorrow.
Why not?
Because, and you know what? It can't be a wash because we had the sponsors, and the sponsors,
oh my God.
the sponsors are important, so we can't wash this.
You might want to edit out the 10
We'll edit. We will edit. We will edit. We're going to edit so good. You don't even know. All right. So, we talked about the Lehigh one before we cut over.
Right.
And then we didn't talk about Fan Expo.
So we're talking
about Fan Expo.
We are set for Fan Expo, which is the 16th through 18th of May.
Mm-hmm.
We have tables there. We have an application into the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, which is right around the corner from us. It goes for 4 weekends. We're really, really hoping for that to be an option, because we went to the Doylestown Renaissance Fair over the summer and absolutely loved it. It very much felt like a perfect balance of You know, like the Comic-Con vibe, as well as sort of like a fair festival camping vibe. It felt like home to us. We absolutely are excited about doing more Renaissance fairs in the future. We haven't. Did we get accepted, or we just have an application
No, we
for
still
that
only
one?
so we have an application out for both of the Renaissance fairs,
Okay.
and by mid-February, I think that we're going to get news for both of them. We are trying to obviously get into both of them if we can, because one of them is way in August and the other one is right around the corner in May and June, and right around the corner physically, from us. It's
Right.
20 to 25 minutes away, so that's perfect. The fun part is that one coincides with Fan Expo. So if we do
Right.
get accepted into the Columbus one, you're going to be setting up for the Renaissance Fair
By
because
myself.
well, hopefully your mom and maybe Bryce will be there with you.
Probably not. She's got mobility issues, but I think I can set up the tent and do like a table by myself. I don't think I could do all of our stuff.
Well, and you wouldn't
Like,
be able to. You'd only be able to do
exactly.
one table because I'm going to need two tables myself.
Exactly. So it's gonna be it'll be a event if we get accepted, but I really do hope we have that opportunity because it
Yeah.
seems like a good festival that's growing every year, and we want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I definitely think from a creative output kind of perspective, like it feels very much like I'm doing something that I have dreamt of doing for a long time.
Right.
And the money ain't bad either.
Yeah.
You definitely carried us for.
Well, the wands are like, not only are they an item that like kind of draws people because they're shiny, obviously, um, but I can't really price them low because of the amount of work that goes into them. So as much as I would love for things to be a little bit more affordable for people who want them, like they do average between like 50 and $100,
Right.
a little bit over for like the really premium items. But the thing I always say is like, I mean, if you have the money, you have it. If you don't, you don't. But if you're gonna buy a resin Harry Potter wand at like Universal Studios, you're probably spending the same amount of money, really. When
Yeah.
with mine, you're getting a handcrafted, one of a kind, hand sculpted, carved, and painted wand with a unique crystal on it
Yeah, it's a lot.
for roughly the same price. So buy my stuff.
Before we realized that we weren't talking last time, I was going to say that not this year, I don't think, but next year, if things go well with like the maps and everything, what I would really like to do is build a sort of like modular wall that you and I had talked about that has kind of like hooks that are hanging on it that we can hang the maps from the little
Right.
things so that you could show here's a zone,
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. We also have to work on
figuring out a way to get the posters in front of people.
yeah, and like the signage in general. Like I realized at our Renaissance fair we didn't have a lot of
It didn't show you what the prices of
right.
things
Like
were.
we need like books, wands, like just
Yeah.
something books, wands, and battle maps like
Yeah.
for
Well,
the fantasy nerd. Or
and you can
whatever.
see like here on the screen right now, like there's a lot of empty space above us, and I think even like there was a problem with us getting the tent up because there was other people that had our exact tent and they were higher than ours.
Yeah.
So we did something wrong. We need to practice it a little bit more before we get things right. But
I also got sparkly stuff to hang from the ceiling for this time. The blue and gold stars.
yep.
Fancy.
And again, I think next year if we're able to pull this off this time, I think that we might be able to expand next time because right now we've got when we went to this one we had maybe in our like mid 30s mid 40s maps, but now we're up to 150 maps.
I thought you meant age.
Yeah, we're old. We got tons and tons of maps, so I want to have tons of space for them because I'd like people to be able to see everything instead of just the one little rack and a table.
Right.
And next year I would hope that by that time we've got the adventure modules as well. Like we're hoping to have like somewhere between like 20 and 30 page books that
Right.
here's how you go on an adventure with some of our maps.
I also hope to have, I don't think it'll be done by then, but I hope to have mostly finished the Whispers of the Weird Wood book
Yeah.
to be able to do that. Maybe not this calendar year, but next calendar year, I'd like to have that available.
I think it's possible.
And next calendar year as well. So one of the things that I was disappointed that we missed out on the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair in October. It was sold out the last weekend, and for some reason I didn't anticipate that, but I guess Ren fairs have been like rising in popularity recently, which is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, it's great for us.
So we ended up going to the Yuletide Festival in the same location over the holidays, and I absolutely loved it. I want that to be an annual tradition. It is so like it was less busy than it usually is, and like they just had cozy food, and it was nice that it was cold and you weren't sweating your butt off in like costumes, and Krampus was there. It was just really cool. So we got to talk to some of the vendors there, and we might be able to
hack something like that.
Like get a table at the PA Ren Fair, which would be incredible. It's more of a hike for us.
Yeah, when Rhianna is saying that we might be able to get a table there or whatever, she doesn't mean for the entire.
Yeah, so they said that you don't necessarily, like, we were always under the impression that you had to commit to like all 3 months or something or along those lines. I think we could swing it to where we picked certain weekends and just committed to the weekends that we said we were going to go.
Yeah, they said earlier in the season they do like one-off weekends. So like they do the Celtic Festival and I think the Scottish weekend.
Right.
And they fall outside of the regular, like, what is it, September through October.
Right. Outside of the busiest season. So.
Yeah, so we might look, depending on what we hear in February from everybody. And I think we'd be able to do our tent. We saw people whose tents were there who weren't, they were the same thing as ours.
Right.
It was
not necessarily the canvas, ones that...
Yep, you zhuzh it up a little bit and disguise it so that it looks to the part. And then, obviously, we dress up, we've got our costumes and everything figured out. So something like that. Oh, well, you can see how the pudding's being made. Talking to somebody about doing some maps for us. Pudding. What other things would you like to accomplish in 2025 besides like events and stuff like that?
Well, I want to expand my inventory, that's for sure. I want to keep experimenting with different... What does that sound?
It's my hard drive.
Oh, okay. I want to keep experimenting with different mediums. I do like the needle felting a lot. It's super fun.
Yeah.
I want to do something that's a little bit more accessible, like time-wise, so that I could do something a little bit more mass-producible. I'd like to try the wet felting so that I can make cool hats, and I want to do witch hats for sale. I made one, like a Christmas-themed one for the Yuletide one, and it was, like, I threw it together in the morning before we left, and it was, like, I got so many compliments on it. So I would love to make that and more flower crowns like you see in the picture there.
Yeah, because you made 4 of them for the one Wizard World that we went to.
Right.
And you wore one every day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could definitely have like a hat wear section and like a giant tent that we have.
Yeah, and I would like to do brooms as well, like witch brooms, and staves are like my big thing. I would absolutely love that. Yeah, but I need to... That's such a commitment. There's so many, like, you gotta put a lot of work and effort into that, like, in order for it to, make sense.
No.
In the way that I want to do them. Like, I don't want to... She's whining. I don't want to, like, duct tape a crystal to it and call it a day. Like, I want it to be really cool and worth the effort.
Yeah.
Now that I can slap like a $500 price tag on, and it would make sense because it would be like a lot of work.
And your price tag also is always been described to you or to me by you as how much money would you be okay with letting it walk away from you?
Exactly. Like how much I'll be sad. The cost is how sad I'll be to part with it. So even if it's like something that didn't take me as long or the materials aren't as good as if I love it, I'm pricing it high.
Right.
Like, I'd rather keep it.
As it should be.
You can pay what you want for it. But that being said, like, the opposite is kind of the same, because if I see somebody loving something that I did, and like it's genuine. It's not like a oh I'd love it but I can't afford it thing. Like you can see in their soul, like they're like I really want this. I don't want to let it like put it down. I will.
Like,
I did
like
it
at
for yeah, I
yeah.
did it for a few people, and like I'll knock the price down if it feels right and that person feels connected to something that I did. Like I will always they're my babies, they're my brain babies, and if I know that it's going to a good home, like like I want to be compensated for my time, obviously, and we're not rich enough to be throwing money around, but I will we had a pastafarian
Hmm.
who really liked my spaghetti and meatball wand. So
Yeah,
I
she was
ended up,
almost crying looking at it
yeah,
and everything.
and we ended up doing like a vendor trade for it. Like that's to me that's the fun and the joy of doing this, not money,
Right.
But like also give me money. We don't
um,
have a lot of money.
any other creative endeavors that you're trying to explore in 2025?
I think I think the main focus is to expand the offerings that we have. I really want to have enough money to come up with a banner for Weird Witch Wands. Like I designed it that one year. I want to have that made.
Yeah.
Like the big one that you have for your books.
Yep.
But like a big one for wands, and I think that that'll like attract people from
It's.
a
I mean,
distance.
it's not as much money as you think. It's only like $150. So that's.
No, having the design done.
Oh, okay.
Like the digital art.
Having somebody do.
Yeah, like I want to sketch it.
Having a Francois put it together.
Right,
Or
like
something.
I want to do the sketch and the design and work with the artist, but like I'm going to use your people because you got the hookup and you know what to.
I do have the hookup.
And you know how to size it and everything. This is also going to be a very special year for our D'Angelo Family Christmas Chronicles, and a special year for us. We are going to be married for 10 years this October.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be together for 2 itches.
For 14 years.
um,
Every 7 years you're supposed to get itchy, and we have not been itchy.
So while we're talking about that, we did not write the story yet for the 9th annual thing.
We had so much other stuff going on.
So that, but I wanted to bring it up because that's one of the creative things that I want to do is I want to at least get to a point where I can do a 30,000 word short story. Right. I've been picked up from a couple of people to do articles and short stories that they want done, so I know that I have the capability to do the writing. It's just I'm focusing so much on other people's stuff that I haven't had the chance yet to get into my own stuff yet.
Right.
You
got to get into the zone for those kind of things.
Right. And thus far, I haven't had a single weekend since October 22nd where like my Fiverr stuff. I've always had a job.
Right.
Which is great. Like that's not a bad problem to have. But like when you're trying to explore your own creativity, it does get a little bit hard because you're trying to focus on making sure that other people are happy first.
Yep, it gets in the way for sure. So. Yeah, I think that's my ultimate goal for 2025 is try and find that balance between doing what we have to do to keep the lights on and the roof over our head and trying to have that creativity in that creative space feel like a safe haven and not like a chore.
Right,
like
I'm doing this for work.
Yeah, like I want to make sure that it's something that we reserve space for, which will coincide with actively ignoring all world events because I am not going to pay attention to anything on the internet or the world. Blissful ignorance is the theme of this year for mental health purposes.
We don't need to see the fires in the sky.
We don't need to see any of that. We're gonna just focus on our little family and our little. This is why we like fantasy stuff because I'd rather go on an adventure with a dragon than taxes.
Yep. So we mentioned that I want to do the adventures. I don't think we were hoping that we were going to be able to do the adventures to coincide with this month. But the problem is I know that I can't do the maps quick enough, and I needed somebody else to partner with, and the partner that we are trying to work with, she's had struggles of her own, so we're not able to time that out. So I'd like for the adventures to be able to be started maybe at the end of this year. I think that the Kickstarter is going to be an annual thing now. We're able to collaborate with enough people to be able to get the 50 maps. I'd like to actually see if we can do like 75 at the base level this year, and then try and get like all the stretch goals up to 100. I want to. There was a bigger map project that we were looking to explore that I'm not quite ready to detail just yet, but I'd like to be able to at least be in talks with the the overseas person that we're trying to collaborate with to make that work. And as we mentioned, I want to try and get back into my own stories as well.
There's one other thing that I didn't mention that I want to try, but it's more of a creative, like, stepping stone, less of a thing. I want to do the sterling silver jewelry, like the clay that you can make into sterling silver, so you can do like fine jewelry.
That's pretty cool.
I think it would be awesome. I think that it would fall into like my skill set. The thing that I don't like is the blowtorch portion of the thing.
Yeah, Rhianna happens to hurt herself no matter what she's doing.
A lot.
She hurts herself sleeping. She hurts herself walking. She hurts herself breathing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, she'll find a way to hurt herself. The only other thing that I want to mention is we are going to the same way we're bringing back this streaming and working our way through the quote unquote growing pains again. Is we're going to try and bring back the Tabletop Thursdays, the Quantum Quest stuff that we've been doing, but we're going to wait a couple of weeks to make sure that we've got the rest of this running smoothly again.
Right. Get back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
Cut out the 10 minutes of dead air that we have.
It's great. It's going to be lovely. We don't shush. I should be able to cut that right off of YouTube. It'll be great. We'll have lots of fun. So we're going to wrap things up now. Let's head to our show closing screen. It's been a while.
Do the man want his chalky milk?
The man do want his chalky milk. You mentioned chalky milk. I want chalky milk.
Yeah, we can have the chalky milk.
So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest. Tellest.com is a great first place to start because it'll bring you to all of our other projects. We also have a couple of premium channels. Patreon.com/Tellest is where you can get digital versions of our maps. And we started to do commercialized licensing. So if you want to use any of our 100+ maps in adventures, you can do that now. You have to be a patron at a certain level in order to do that, but go check it out. It'll give you more details there. Tellest.etsy.com is where you can find physical versions of the maps and Rhianna's Weird Witch wands that she still has. Not many since the fair, but there's still some there if you want to get some. And then we've got the TikTok channels, at least for now. At Weird Witch Wands is where you can find her wands, and at Tales of Tellest is where you can find our doggies. Who knows what tomorrow may bring, so make sure you watch all the videos tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. Tales of Tellest is the name where you'll find us on Instagram, but, meta. Try not to do that. Also on Red Note, let's make Luna famous in China. Why not? But yeah, just look for the Tellest logo and you'll be able to find us.
Yep. And then we've also got battlemapfantasy.com. We have over 150 maps, I think, at this point on Drive-Thru RPG. So you want to check us out there. And if you want to watch us, you can find us on youtube.com/@worldoftellest. But of course, the place that you should start is twitch.tv/thattellestguy. That's where you can catch us live and be bored with 10 minutes of silence. But that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll miss you.